Susie's Secret Recipes. My name is Susie Hyde, and I grew up on a farm in Washington, Oklahoma. My parents taught us kids, number one, to keep Jesus in our heart. Number two, just to keep things country simple and enjoy the simple things in life. And so I've had a wonderful childhood, and I brought everything that I've learned from home and brought it into my household. And so I hope that you enjoy my channel, and I look forward to sharing with you some of the things that I enjoy. And so sit back and let's keep it country simple. Hello everyone, and so today we're going to be talking about sourdough starter, and I've had a lot of people ask me about that here lately, and this is mine, and I've had this for goodness probably over a year, making things from it and feeding it, and we'll go over that in just a little bit. But first of all, what is sourdough starter? What is that? Well, it's a mixture of flour and liquid. And when you mix those two together, it creates a friendly bacteria. So how does sourdough make things rise? Okay, so just like a, let's say a packet of yeast that you can get at the store, and you're gonna make yeast rolls, you're gonna use that yeast to make it rise. So your sourdough is what makes it rise, just like the packet of yeast would make your yeast rolls rise. So some people will call that wild yeast. I've heard that. And so adding the flour to the liquid create your wild yeast. And what will happen is, after a certain amount of time, after feeding and all of the different things, your sourdough will look like this. Will begin to bubble like this. Now, you're looking at this probably thinking, what is that liquidy stuff on top? Okay, that is perfectly normal. This is because this has been in the refrigerator. When you put it into the refrigerator, it kind of goes dormant, goes to rest. We'll just put it that way. And so, not using it, which I haven't used it in a little bit, it will create a liquid around it. That's perfectly normal. The only time that it would be bad is if it was a pink color and you would have a horrible odor and it wouldn't smell very good. Then it would just have to toss the whole thing out. But I use this, and what you do when it looks like this, you would stir this in, mix it back into your starter. See how that bubbles? It's a very happy starter mixture. Okay. And then what I would do is measure out what I need to whatever it is that I'm gonna fix, which I will be fixing in the next couple of days, some homemade sourdough bagels. Okay, to begin making your starter, you're going to use 1 cup of whole wheat flour to a half a cup of water. Now, the water needs to be room temperature. It needs to be between 68 to 70 degrees. So if your house is a little cooler like mine is, you're going to use a little warmer water. If it's hot, then you're going to use cooler water. And so what you're going to do is put the whole wheat flour, which is 1 cup of whole wheat flour, into your container. Now, some people will use a jar. I use my sourdough crock. And it shows 1 quart down here and 2 quarts up there. So I'll put mine in this. My daughter uses a jar for her sourdough starter. So back to the ingredients. You can use 1 cup of whole wheat flour to a half a cup of water. So once everything is mixed together, you're going to cover this. You're going to cover it loosely. So you're not going to want to put your lid on it or put a lid on your jar. You're going to want to cover it with something loose. And you're going to let it sit for about 24 hours at room temperature. Now, note that if your house is colder, it's going to take longer. Mama's house is a warmer, so her starter was up and going before mine because my house is cooler. So just keep that in mind. So it's ideal to have the temperature at 70 degrees. After the 24 hours, you may look at it and you may begin to see bubbles, and that's great. But if you don't, that's still okay. But you're still going to discard about a half a cup of your mixture. You're going to add a cup of flour, and what I use is King Arthur's all-purpose flour. And so I'll put a cup of that in it and a half a cup of either cool water or warm water, again, depending on the temperature of your house. And so you're going to put that in there, stir it, and then cover it again. You're going to repeat that step for the next 7 to 10 days. It just depends. Mama's starter was done quicker than mine because my house is cooler. So she, within, I think it was 7 or 8 days, she already had, hers was perfect. Mine went a little bit longer, and then I began to see, bubbles everywhere. Now, like I said, I have used this for over a year. Okay, that's what it looks like after I've stirred it. It looks very happy and ready to go. Now, on your 7th day, after you fed it and you see no bubbles at all, then you're going to have to start over. Something didn't go right, which that's not, I mean, that doesn't happen very often. That if that does, it means you need to start over. And so one other thing I might add. Once you put this into the refrigerator, you do not want to feed it. You want to leave it alone. It goes kind of dormant. It rests. It'd be like us going to sleep and someone coming in and waking us up. We don't want to be messed with. And so that's what, you know, the sourdough doesn't want to be messed with. You just leave it alone. Now, after a time, it can last in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, you will probably at that time see a liquidy film like I just showed you on mine. And at that time, it needs to be fed. And so I stirred mine in just a little bit ago, but I'm going to go ahead and get the amount that I'm going to need for tomorrow when I make my bagels and let that set and get to room temperature overnight. And then I will feed this again and put it back into the refrigerator, and then I'll leave it alone. And so now, you don't want to leave it in the refrigerator and it get that liquidy hoosh on top of your starter and not ever mess with it, because at some point it will probably turn pink or orange color and then put off a horrible odor, and then you're going to have to throw it away. And so you don't want to ever get to that point. Like I said earlier, you don't want to a lot of people will stress over it, their starter. And you don't have to babysit it. Just watch it, just like anything else. So if you see that liquid and you know that you need to feed it, and you're gonna have to discard some of it, but you don't want to throw it away, and you're not going to be able to make anything, you know, you can always share it with someone else. Give them some of your starter. I use King Arthur's all-purpose flour to feed my sourdough starter. I use a cup of it along with a half a cup of warm water. I like to make my own bread, and so a lot of it I'll make by hand, and then some of it I put into the bread machine. I'll put my ingredients into it, and it does all the work for me, and that's real handy when you're in a hurry. And otherwise, you know, I'll do it by hand. Richard and I have been enjoying sourdough sandwich bread, and so I like to make my own biscuits. I like to make a lot of the things that we eat. And not just the things that we put into our bodies, but the things that we put on our bodies too. Goat soap, goat lotion, goat hand soap. I like to do my own laundry detergent, soap for washing dishes, and many, many other things. And when I read the ingredients that's put inside of a lot of the things that we use, it's kind of scary. There's a lot of things in there that's not good, especially when it comes to like bread. Have you ever thought about bread on the shelf at the store, about how long has it been sitting there? And then when you bring it home and it lasts on your shelf for another 2 or 3 weeks, you know, something's not right. Like something not good inside that bread. And so making your own stuff, not only does it taste better, it may not last as long, but that's okay. I'd rather make my own than using what you can buy at the store. I'm sure I didn't cover everything. I may have left some things out, but if you have any questions regarding sourdough starter or the things that you can make, put it in the comments or private message me and I will get back with you. And if you enjoyed the video today, then please give me a thumbs up and put it in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please do so by clicking the subscribe button below and the notification bell, and it'll notify you when I'm going to have another video. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next Wednesday for another episode of Susie's Secret Recipes. Hopefully, I will get the video to how to make sourdough bagels done and share that with you. So may God bless you, and happy trails.